So I've been on Fat Llama for about 2 years now, and I'm going to be showing you how much money I've made in that amount of time, and I'm also going to go through my experiences on the platform. Hi, I'm Si and welcome to my channel. I'm into audio and video production and DJing, and I make content all around that. So what is Fat Llama? Fat Llama it's kind of like Airbnb for items and gear. That's how I think of it. So for borrowers, it's cheaper than your regular rental shop, and it can be a great source of income for lenders like me. I'm a videographer and a DJ, so as you can imagine, I've got a fair bit of gear lying around. I don't want to show all the gear I've got in case someone finds out where I live and decides to rob me. The gear which is most popular for me to rent out is stuff like lenses, camera kits, packages. So I've got a GH5 and I package that with the lenses. That does the best, I think. Basically, the more the item is worth, the higher amount you can charge, but also obviously the risk to your property goes up. I mostly rent out my video equipment because I feel slightly less comfortable basically renting out my DJ gear, knowing that it's probably going to go to a load of drunken people at a party. So pros to the whole thing. Passive income basically is the number one, obviously. I'm not doing this stuff for free. Over the last couple of years, I think I started in basically July 2018. I've made just over £3,000, so 3,200. It's relatively easy to do. I mean, I essentially work from home, so all I need to really arrange is meeting up with a person, picking it up and dropping it off. The app, I'll get into that later. It's not perfect, but it's essentially, it'll give you a little message asking for if you want to rent it or not. It'll give you the dates of when that rental's going to be, how much money you're going to make, and you can either accept it or decline it. Once you've accepted it, you just have to arrange a pickup and delivery, and it's, up to you to arrange all that. But the majority of the stuff is actually done through the app. So the major cons, and there are cons. First one is actually the people sometimes. So like in life, it's like 90% of the people are really good and friendly and nice. But 10% of the people who aren't so good can kind of ruin the experience. And I'm not saying they're not nice. They're always pretty nice, but they can basically either be unreliable, bit late, bad communication. And I've had a few items come back that have had scratches on them that weren't there before, have been slightly broken, like little switches and things like that are missing. I guess the biggest con or potential con is actually, I guess you could lose your equipment or it could get damaged. That's not happened to me yet, touch wood. So, nothing major has happened. And technically, the whole business model is that you're insured on these items. So Fat Llama arrange insurance through, I think it's Hiscox and maybe some other ones. I'll get into that in a bit. Actually, yeah, that leads me pretty well onto how you are protected. I'm basically reading this, so bear with me. We got Stripes radar product, then you're protected by a Carta, which is an identity verification. Persona, which is another identity verification. Oh man, I can't say that. Amazon Web Services, facial recognition service. I'm getting all this wrong. OCR extraction, device fingerprinting, and additional insurance from Hiscox, Alliance, and AXEA. So there is a lot of protection there, and a lot of it is basically going into verifying people before you're doing the rental. So everyone has to go through this verification process. You'll give your driver's license and address and all that stuff, so that hopefully no one is on the platform who's renting from you who is not who they say they are, or if something does go wrong, the Fat Llama know where to go to get to them. If that makes sense. Get to them, not speak to them, not whack them or anything like that. Hey dude's just going to interrupt this and ask for a subscribe if you're not already. Hit that notification bell if you want to see more content like this. If you like the video, click like. If you don't, click dislike. As you can see, I've got a bit of a gear problem and I need to pay for my habit somehow. So yeah, if you can help me out, that'd be great. I've never had to actually make a claim, as I say, which is pretty lucky. But if something does go wrong, you're essentially encouraged to work it out between yourselves first. If that cannot be resolved between the two of you, then it goes to a resolutions team who are then going to look into making a claim from insurance for you. As I say, I've not actually had to do that with anything major. So if anyone's had any experience with this, leave a comment. And I'm sure there's good and bad. And I'm just hope that I never have to actually make a claim because it's stress. So I will mention these things which make Fat Llama good for me, which may not make it good for you. Number one, I live in central London, which obviously makes a big difference because if people are looking on that map of where to make a rental from and they see that I'm right in the centre of London, they're going to be like, okay, cool, easy. If you live in the ass end of nowhere, you might struggle trying to rent your things out. Also, I work from home, which is a big deal because it means that I'm often in to arrange the pickups and the drop-offs. Every time I've had to deal with customer service, they've been pretty good. They're pretty responsive and they help out where they can. Fat Llama's costs essentially come in at 25%. They put them up recently, which I guess it sounds like a lot, and maybe it is, I don't know. So I think there are some massive areas of improvement. This thing is definitely not perfect. The first thing being that the app is pretty buggy still, and sometimes messages don't come through, so I'll get a request or I can see that it's there. I'm like, oh, I want to accept that or deny it, and I can't because the app just doesn't let me to do it. Other thing is the analytics for it could definitely be much better. Like I had to basically create my own spreadsheet and put in the amounts I've made so that I could kind of track which items were doing well and how much I made and all that kind of stuff. And that's not really something that you should be doing when, you know, it's like an app that they've probably got all that data somewhere. You know, it's just nice to know, and it's good for accounting, stuff like that. And the fact that I have to do it myself is kind of dumb. The other big problem I have with it is there's no real cover for wear and tear. So like I mentioned before, the scratches and tiny little switches which get lost and things like that. I guess you've got to sort of weigh up whether you're, you know, happy to take the money and like let these little things happen. But in my experience, people don't look after your stuff as well as you ever do. I found that putting things in bags and stuff like that obviously helps, but you can't really claim that back. You know, it's not going to be worth going to insurance and asking for that. So you just got to take that one on the chin. But yeah, that's it. That is my review of Fat Llama. Tried to keep this one brief because it's obviously not the most glamorous subject, but I guess, you know, it did seem kind of relevant to this audience because I've got a lot of DJ friends who might have stuff lying around which they are willing to rent and things like that. Good way to make some cash out of your stuff. So click here if you want some more review videos and tutorials and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'll put another random playlist which pops up here too.